Director Giancarlo and Commissioner Roy, you raise a good point, and we've heard this, like, what happens when rescheduling happens? We know that there are a lot of benefits to it. We also have talked about some potential unknowns, and we do ask some questions in here. And I would extend the conversation about compliance with regs, right? Labeling and packaging and shipping requirements that we have, but also with testing standards. We hold our testing standards to be kind of setting the benchmark for testing standards across the country. How would rescheduling affect, testing standards among that kind of regulatory compliance issue basket, so to speak? So just encourage them to fold that into this additional commentary as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Stebbins. Before I ask any of my questions, Commissioner Camargo, do you have any questions or?
So right now, I may just reach out to Matt.
Okay, yeah. So
Trying to find some.
Matt, I appreciate, and so I'm looking at page 2, section 2, the second paragraph. There's reference to our mandate to address the harms done by the war on drugs, to benefit areas that have been disproportionately harmed by cannabis prohibition and enforcement. But before I came here, I was in the Senate, and at that time, the work was around cannabis implementation, around question 4. But something that I would ask is, there was always an incorporation around criminal records, around expungement. That's even a component of our existing statute where the executive branch, there's a charge to inform people, to educate them about the existing laws around expungement. My request would be to include something along those lines for communicating with those people and creating some sort of avenue at the federal level for people who want to get into this space. Now that this is potentially federally legalized, this is what the entire comment period is about, but have past records from the same acts. So I think it starts a little bit short of acknowledging that, legacy operators to date, under existing laws would not be able to take advantage of the federal legalization. And I'll stop there because I know we're offering suggestions, and I know that if this is a commission product, if this is a statement from the entire body, we have to be in agreement, at least for the majority. So 3 out of the 4, but hopefully 4. So I will stop there, but I do want to offer that because that's aligned with the history here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's aligned with the will of the voters who voted for cannabis legalization in the Commonwealth.
We waiting?
No, I guess are there any? There's 3 suggestions thrown out. I don't have any opposition to any of them, but I just want to clarify for our Director of Government Affairs that we're aligned in that direction.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to any of it. I think Matt's gonna have to edit something, resend it back to us to see what it looks like, right? And then
I'm sorry, I have to interject a little bit because it gets a little complicated.
Okay.
Because there's a deadline.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, what's the deadline? 22nd?
July 22nd, but we can absolutely make those edits and share them back with you all.
And that's just via email, right? That's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. So similar to past practice with legislative and executive branch outreach letters, we can absolutely share drafts with commissioners. Government affairs and policy team can collate those edits, put them together, share them back for the commissioners to review and approve.
My last question is, Matt, if commissioners wanted to independently speak to other issues and write independent letters as well, can we?
Absolutely. Yeah. So also similar to the legislative and executive branch outreach policy, commissioners certainly may advocate in their personal capacities for certain policy choices. And that wouldn't necessarily be on behalf of the commission, but absolutely. Commissioners are subject matter experts on cannabis, and it is important that they be able to use their individual voice in addition to the agency's voice on official matters.
Thank you.
Commissioner Roy?
To your point, Acting Chair and Matt, you know, I'm looking over the MORE Act. The language of the MORE Act speaks to what Acting Chair was addressing. I'll share that document. I'll share it to Matt. He can circulate it, but there might be some language you can take from this, Matt.
It's not public.
I'll put it in the chat,
I
right?
was gonna say, yeah, you can put it in the chat because we're talking about it now. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
MORE Act.
Well, the language, yeah, there's.
I'm not putting any, I'm just gonna circulate the document.
Yeah.
In reference to MORE Act. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
Thank you, Acting
Yeah.
AC.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's too long. I couldn't, we'd be here, you'd be mad at me. We'd be here till 6 o'clock.
Other Commissioner Simmons?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. Just to throw this question out, we're talking about some revisions to our comment letter. We've also talked now about a meeting next week, and I know we just said we don't want to clog it up with other stuff, but if you feel we should bring it back so the commission can have an official vote on a final version, we'd still be able to do that by the July 22nd deadline.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have a preference for it, but we do know we're going to be meeting next week. If we wanted to all see a final version and incorporate some additional inclusions.
Is there, I'll do a temperature check. What's
I don't
the,
know, our standalone meetings.
I know.
I know, we just talked about not clogging up the standalone meeting, but
I know. I think it, I think we can.
Commissioner Cameron?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're not opposed to any of the comments or the stuff that we're talking about. So I think if we allow our team to put it together, edit it, send it on email. I mean, I think we vote it now and direct the staff to finish the final edits like we've done other stuff and get it out.
Okay.
My
I think that
recommendation.
does make the most sense. I am afraid of. I anticipate a long meeting.
Yes,
You know,
I do too.
and I know the last time we did our rounds, it was a week, it won't be a week long. I'm hoping it's just a day, but it might be a lengthy day as we go line by line. So, Commissioner Camargo, actually, I like that suggestion and I am.
Yeah, the letter's ready. You just gotta, and they're great at writing this stuff.
I'm putting you on the spot, Chief of Staff and Acting GC. Do you mind offering some motion language that would allow
Madam Chair, if I may, I believe our Director of Government Affairs may have motion language.
Okay.
You could seek a motion, a move to approve the commission to submit the public comment to the United States Department of Justice regarding the proposed rule to reclassify marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, subject to further edits as discussed and approved by the commission for final approval, and further authorize staff to take all actions necessary to effectuate this action.
Thank you, Attorney Carter. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Stebbins. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Roy. I'll now do call the roll, Commissioner Camargo.
Just want to say and I did not speak to Matt before this meeting. Because we were on the same page.
Commissioner Roy.
Aye.
Commissioner Stebbins.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, there are 4 in favor, none opposed. Matt, you've been busy for a while now. I know we've had you doing a few different things, but thank you and the team. And, you know, I know you'll get back to us and we'll get this done, but thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, commissioners.
Okay.
Matt, thank you for thinking ahead on that motion language.
And so the next item is new business. The chair did not anticipate at time of posting. I actually want to give Debbie the floor. I think that there was some comments that you wanted to offer, so I'll let you introduce those comments.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make a correction for the record. Earlier, I announced several promotions. There were 2 roles within those promotions that were temporary roles, and that was a director of enforcement training and the first assistant enforcement counsel roles. So I was remiss in not noting that those were temporary roles. So I just wanted to correct that for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay, so our next meeting date, we'll actually post that relatively soon. So there's a 2nd July meeting. And the goal is for us to have that next week where we go through line by line the draft regulations that were introduced today by our acting general counsel, Andrew Carter. Again, that was for the delivery license types, micro businesses, and telehealth. Our next full agenda meeting will be on August 8th, 2024. With that said, thank you all. Thank you to the entire commission and the team. We had a lot on the docket today. So the fact that we are wrapping before 5, it's still before 4. So I will ask.
Good thing.
Will now ask for, that means I should continue to have a lengthy discussion. All right, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn. So thank you, Commissioner Roy. Is there a second?
Oh, fine. Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Stecker. Now we'll call the roll. Commissioner Camargo,
And congrats to everybody on today's meeting. Big deal.
Commissioner Roy,
Aye.
Commissioner Stebbins.
Aye.
The chair votes aye, 4 in favor, none opposed. Thank you, everyone. We will see you all soon.
I thought we were gonna be until 6 p.m.
Yeah.